kuma gandaria bilale Edoronina odon bilayo
For Yolngu people, Indigenous people from northeast Arnhem Land in Australia, there are logical orders in the land. These are rules and patterns that are part of cycles of the universe. There is counting, sharing, physics, measurements. There are cycles of growth and harvesting. We call this Yolngu mathematics. Yolngu look at the water, at the tides coming in and going, at the flows of the river and the movement of light through the sea and sea order and system. There is mathematics in the moon and the seasons, in the rain and the clouds. Yolngu know these things through the land from the land. Murko mangawo. When a wind starts or a flower opens, that is the land teaching. That is Yolngu mathematics, mathematics that places Yolngu in, with and as country. Today we want to share about our way of being, but we also want you to think about what this means for your own way of being in the world. There are lots of problems in the world, a lot of violence and injustice to people, to a more than human kin and to our environments that we call country. We think it is important to look at what underpins this, at the way of knowledges and ideas of self promote connections and disconnection. Knowledge, truth, science and mathematics, they seem value-free, but they are not. First, let us welcome you. This is my mother, Dr. Laklak Praronga, elder of the Datui clan and caretaker for Gomach, including Barker country.
Yo bookmark kololo ya ko wangawo. Ngana bo jora ko dat laprang. Dole ya ko kololo wangal dipal. Wangal gona bakal ko metwanga baka. Welcome to my country. This is Barbara Laklak Praronga from Barker. I'm right in the middle of my country, where is beautiful beach, calm water, looking at other side of my country. There's some children playing around the beach and my pet Nike crocodile just beside the water looking at me. I am sitting under the whistle tree at Barker.
We also need to acknowledge the people of whose land we are sharing today, the First Nations of the plain, places in which you sit as you listen. The elders past, present and future of that place and the land itself and the beings that become there. And we extend our respect to other First Nations people who might be listening to this presentation. We share with you about Barker, about our place, our land, our people and some of our stories, our mathematics. Respectfully extended relationship to you, to your place and your people, and acknowledge the laws, stories, songlines and histories of your own place. But you might be wondering who we are. We are collective. We are Yolngu and Ngapaki non-Yolngu. And we are speak with and as Barker, our homeland. We are Laklak, her sisters Richardly Mirkeo and Banbapo, teachers and community leaders. Their daughter Jondil, who hosts tourists for their family-owned business, and Sandy, Kate and Sarah, 3 academic human geographers who through their work at and with Barker have been adopted into the family. Barker country is the lead author of part of this presentation. Barker has enabled our learning, our meetings, the stories that guide us and the connections we discuss. Thank you very much for listening.
Barker country is a known place and space in northeast Arnhem Land, a large area of Yolngu Aboriginal land in the far north of Australia. Richly nourished and attended, Barker is country. Country for us includes humans, more than humans, and all that is tangible and non-tangible. Animals, winds, dreams, rocks, waters, spirit beings and more. We co-become with country and its beings, and it co-becomes with us. Country knows, thinks and communicates. Our research collective that gives this presentation is part of country too. It's part of its vibrant knowing and being. Together we co-become through webs of responsibility and reciprocity with all country's fellow beings and becomings. So why are we talking to you of mathematics? Mathematics is generally perceived in Western culture as immutable, objective and value-free. It is as if it has no history, no politics. Take the website Maths in Daily Life, the Universal Language. It says, mathematics is the only language shared by all human beings regardless of culture, religion or gender. With this language we can explain the mysteries of the universe or the secrets of DNA. We can make chocolate chip cookies or save money for retirement. We can build computers and transfer information across the globe. This quote reveals a lot of assumptions. It shows a lot that is not universal, despite what it says. For example, not everyone has the same answers to the mysteries of the universe. Not everyone thinks it's appropriate to explain these mysteries. The vast majority of people in the world never make or taste chocolate chip cookies, and they have no oven, no opportunity to retire. The priorities about what patterns we look at, what we do with them, how and what they explain are different. So the we that is in the quote is telling. It is an exclusive we, even as it claims to be universal. This gives a false and dangerous idea of humans beyond gender or culture, beyond race, beyond place, beyond relationships. But there is no such thing. Looking more deeply at knowledge, including things that are seen to be value-free like mathematics, has a lot to teach us about culture, Western dominant culture in particular, about power and politics, and about place. We are going to share about a different way of understanding mathematics, Yolngu mathematics.
Yolngu mathematics is an important way that Yolngu people have chosen to communicate their relationship with each other and with the country to the non-Indigenous people. It is a profound Indigenous focus model of intercultural communication. We first used the term in the 1970s as a way of countering the idea that Western practices of mathematics had no equivalent in pre-colonial Yolngu society. Mainstream society and education systems have long been unable to recognize alternative mathematics and have ignored the importance of Indigenous rights and education. Mathematics underpins the ways we relate to the land and is deeply related to land ownership. Yolngu people have long been at the forefront of struggles for land in Australia. Yet the mathematics of our claims to land like a knowledge and rights more broadly have been ignored in Australian law, politics and mainstream education systems. So we started talking about mathematics to change that. There is still a problem in recognizing mathematics as well as Indigenous people's claims to and relationships to land. Mathematics is the science of patterns, groups, relationship, rhythms and space. Yolngu mathematics refers to the complex matrix of systems, relationships, shapes, motions and rhythms of time and space that underpin the ways that Yolngu nourish and are nourished by the country. In school, children learn Western mathematics that tells them about some kind of patterns and relationship here. Here we want to tell you about different patterns and relationship and different ways of understanding. Everything you learn, we learn the mathematics way because everything is connected in a certain way. You know, in Western mathematics, it seems like the rules are the same whenever you go for Yolngu. It's not like that. There are some things that underpin all Yolngu mathematics, but to understand it, you have to link it to one place. For us, that place is Parker.
All mathematics is linked to the land. It is all connected. The land is family, so we are related to the land. For us, that homeland is Bawaka. You can't see and start to understand the hidden mathematics until you have someone to show you. It's like the lirawi, the charcoal. Everywhere you dig in Australia, you'll find some lirawi, some charcoal. That lirawi is there from the fires of Indigenous people. There are layers and layers of it too, just like the rungan and just like our knowledge. When you first dig, you'll see one layer of lirawi. When you dig more, you'll see more. It's significant knowledge that goes down deep It's from our ancestors. It's knowledge that's embedded in the land and that has been part of the lives of Aboriginal people for generations, forever. Put simply, nothing can be understood without reference to its wanga, its special place. We acknowledge non-humans as important, active agents with their own knowledges and with important roles to play in the functioning of the cosmos. The miapunu, turtle, and the gaypal, yellow wattle, both send their messages. Ours is not a human-centred vision, but recognises non-human agencies as sapient and purposeful. The land and the spirits, the sea and all the beings have their place, their own mathematics. The sea there, it has its own wana, its own mathematics. The guya, the fish, the stingray and the miapunu have all got their own language. They have their own rules, style of talking and living with one another. The birds and the animals know where to sleep, where to put their babies, where to build their nests. The same for trees and bushes. The land knows what their language is. To talk about Yolngu mathematics, we really have to talk about kinship and yilicha and dua.
Koroto is a powerful word for Yolngu people. We use it. It's been there for years and years. Koroto is kinship. Koroto is mother and child. Koroto is Yoto and Yindi. It's mother and child. Koroto can be families, Palanda and Yolngu. Koroto system has got Malk, which is the skin name. I am Gutchan, which is my Malk. Mama over here is Kalian. We are Toa and Yirija, the two moieties. The land itself, Toa and Yirija. My homeland Bawaka is Yirija. My mother's homeland Goloronga is Toa. So they're both Yoto and Yindi, mother and child. Even the sea that connects, there's Toa Sea and there's Yirija Sea. The animals amongst where the land is, Toa and Yirija. Plants, flowers, everything surrounds, even the sand dunes, Toa and Yirija. So our land is very, very valued for us.
And also connected to...
And we are all, us Yolngu people are connected to our land.
Well, the hidden mathematics is a hidden one. You can't see, you can't learn, but Yolngu knows all about what is the hidden mathematics is. What John was saying, telling the story about the land and the people. We see the values, where to go, where to hunt, which way to go. There is a lot of things that Yolngu knows.
So, as we tell you the story, we are telling it through Bawaka, through our home. We have got many more patterns and relationships. Some of these are too complicated to share today. Some are too special. We can't share everything. It is not appropriate. In the swamp over there, at the back of the beach at Bawaka, is a big rangan, a big paperbark tree. You know the paperbark tree? If you open it, you'll see there are layers and layers and layers and layers. The bark, it peels away, and below, it is more bark. It is all entwined together. That's our Yolngu knowledge. There's layers and layers of it. It's stored in an old people's head, and we're learning all the time. We're making new knowledge too, making new songs. So thinking about Yolngu mathematics, learning from Yolngu mathematics, we can learn about knowledge itself. we can also learn about Western ideas of knowledge and of mathematics. It is for Yolngu things are only understood in relation to other things. What might be called relationality or relativity are Western insistence that a thing can be understood in an abstract way as unrelated to other things is deeply culturally embedded. It tells us as much about Western culture and its preoccupations as it does about that thing which, after all, does only come into being with other things.
Yolngu mathematics does more than tell us about the ways that Yolngu live. It helps us understand that there are different, more connected and relational ways of thinking and being. It helps others understand that the way they know, the different ways we all know, the ideas of science, mathematics and truth, tell us about how we live, what we hold dear, and has repercussions for ourselves, our kin and our planet.